Welcome, Granbury ISD, to episode 9 of the New Favorite Things podcast. I'm your host today, Jason Polano, Instructional Tech Coordinator at Granbury ISD. And today's episode is going to talk about the applications of Nearpod for assessment. Specifically, I'm going to talk about how you can do sight words at our elementary level learners for a Nearpod multiple choice quiz. Now, if you're a secondary teacher, middle school, high school, don't worry. There are plenty of applications that you can use this for. So let's take a look. Within Nearpod, you can come in and you can create presentations within this actual library. Yesterday, I showed you how to do it within Google Slides and then import it. But today, I'm actually going to create a lesson inside of here because it's probably a little simpler. I'm going to come in, I'm going to click Create, and then I'm going to click on Lesson. And then from here, I'm going to add my first slide. My slide is going to be an activity, and it's going to be a multiple choice quiz. So let's say I'm doing a second grade sight word test. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say answer the So I'm going to come in and I'm going to say choose the word from the options below that is recorded in the question. Okay. And I'm going to give a series of options here. So I'm going to say above, across, believe, and cloud. Okay. And then I'm going to specify which of these is correct. So I'm going to say above is the correct one. And then I'm going to add in media, video, or audio instructions. So when I click here, I have the option to go down to my audio recorder. When I click on audio recorder and I allow my microphone, I can give a short audio clip that the students will be able to listen to when they're doing this Nearpod. So when I click down here and I say above, above, okay, I'm going to save this clip and it's going to embed it within that multiple choice question. I'm going to pause the recording and create a few extra examples, and then we're going to take a look at what this looks like on the student side. Okay, I created a few of these examples. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm going to click Save. Okay, and then I'm going to name my lesson, and then I'm going to click Save and Exit. Okay, so let's take a look at what this looks like for our students. When they come in and they're going to get that self-paced link, like I showed you guys how to do yesterday, you would give this to your kids through Seesaw or through Dojo or through Google Classroom, or you can send it through email or Remind. But they'll come in and they'll join in the lesson, and then they're going to see this quiz. And this is what it's going to look like for the student. And it says up here, choose the word from the options below that is recorded in the question. And then they have this option to play the materials. Now, I don't think you guys can hear that in the podcast because it's playing through my AirPods right now, but it says the recorded message that I gave it. So I can specify, I can look at this and I can say, this was the correct answer. And then I can go to the next question. It says, choose the word option that is recorded in the question. So now I have a new word that it said, and it said the word cook. And then the last one. Okay. Now notice all of these went in the same order. So you're going to want to, inside of Nearpod, when you're building the questions, mix up the order so it's not always going to be the very top answer. Now for me as a student, as I click submit, I'm going to be able to go through and I can see which ones I got correct and which ones I got incorrect. But there are a couple of other different assessment tools that you can use within Nearpod. So maybe I wanted to give my students a word and I wanted them to respond orally. So I can go in and I can add a slide. And in this case, I'm going to do an open-ended question. So maybe I'm going to put my word right here. And then I'm going to enable student audio recording. So when I toggle this on, now my students will have the ability to use their microphone to answer with an audio file, okay? I'm going to make a few of these as an example so I can show you guys. 1 second. Okay, I've updated that to be the open-ended response questions where students are going to record. I'm going to grab that link again, just a little bit more practice of how to get the link and share it with our students. So now you're going to see it from the student point of view, just like we did a minute ago. So this is what's going to look like on the student end when they are going to respond. They're going to be prompted to allow their microphone, okay? And then down here, it's going to allow them to record the audio. So I've got the question up here, the sight word, and I have to record my audio as a student. Almost. And then click submit. And then I go on to the next one. Burn. Building. So this could be a great station activity for your kids, or if you're committed to distance learning right now, this could be something that you do with all of your distance learners as well to check in on them. Okay? So let's take a look at our Nearpod and see what the reporting features are going to look like on that. So to check my reports, I'm going to hover over the three dots, and then I'm going to come down to reports. I'm going to click on the sight word practice and the session that I just did, which was at 11:38 a.m. And then I can go to my open-ended questions, and I can pull it up by question summary. So if I look at the word almost, I can see the student and I can hear their response. Okay. Maybe I have off to the side like a rubric or a check sheet where I'm going to say, you know, the students got this one, missed this one, et cetera, et cetera. But this is a great way for you to be able to check in on those kiddos in a distance learning environment. Or again, if you're doing those small group rotations and you need something for them to do. And the last little sight word activity that I want to do with you guys is maybe we've got some kids that are pretty nonverbal and they don't want to listen to it. They don't want to speak it. Maybe they want to see a picture and then they want to associate it with the word. So I'm actually going to come in here. I'm going to click on edit. And I'm going to edit the lesson that I was working on. And we're going to do a matching pairs activity. So when I come in, I'm going to do an activity. I'm going to come down to matching pairs. And here I'm going to put in some instructions that say match the sight word to the image. Now, obviously, you can't do certain sight words like, I don't know, cover, because that would be really difficult to have a picture of. But maybe I'm going to do something like apple, and then I'm going to pick an image, apple image. Okay. So this is really simple to be able to set up. I'm going to add another pair. This time I'm going to put corn. I'm just searching for Google. Add another pair. This time I'm going to put carrot. Okay. I'm going to do a few more examples, and then we're going to take a look at what this looks like on the student point of view. Okay, I have 6 pairs in here. I'm going to click done, and then I'm going to come down and I'm going to click save for the activity. Okay. I'm actually going to delete these because they were the ones that we had just done previously. And I'm going to save my sight words practice Nearpod, and I'm going to generate a new link for my students, just like we did on the last one. So I'll come in here and I'll get that student paste link, go down to link, copy it. I'm going to put it in a new browser so we can see what the students see when they're doing this activity. So they'll have all of these icons that are scrambled throughout their screen, okay? And they have to match them together. So here I've got an apple and I've got an apple, okay? And I've got a bell and I've got a bell. Well, maybe I get one wrong. If I try to click on the bus and a carrot, okay, it's going to give me that immediate feedback as a student that says, no, that's wrong. So I can come in and I can click on the bus and the bus and the cloud and the cloud. Maybe I get another one wrong. Carrot, oh, nope, didn't get that right. Down here, and then here, and here. Okay. So it tells the student how many tries it gets, but it also reports that to you as a teacher. So now if I come in as the teacher and I'm going to pull the report for this activity. And here's the session that we just did at 11:43. I go to matching pairs. I can see the student and how many matches they got and how many attempts that it took to get there. So this is going to be great documentation for any sort of ART or 504 meetings that you have, where you're able to pull this report and then you can track progress as well. So be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of the New Favorite Things podcast. Tomorrow we're going to talk specifically about how can you take the pre-made Nearpods in the Nearpod library, use them, but then you can also edit them and try to provide a little bit of individuality to those Nearpods. Okay. Remember to follow us on Twitter at GIST Tech 2 and be on the lookout for episode 10 coming out tomorrow.